Okay, yeah, that's perfect. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. We are doing session with the Cyrus Finance. So, be here, stay active, because Miss Caitlin is here to present this incredible project. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, let's welcome our guests first. So, hi Caitlin, it's pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for joining this session. It's really amazing to have you here. Could you please, share a bit about yourself, and then we discuss in more detail about the tires finance. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much for that, Sophia. Hello to the Strike Labs community once again. Hi, everyone. My name is Caitlin, and I'm very glad to welcome all of you to this AMA session. Just a quick background and introduction about me. I've been working in the DeFi space for quite some time now, and I've been focusing on how protocols evolve, how communities grow, and most importantly, how real value is created in the decentralized systems. So, today, guys, once again, very proud to be here. Today, we're not just going to talk about updates or about the marketplace, which actually that's a highlight for tonight, but not just that. Tonight, guys, we're going to talk about direction, about vision, about why Cyrus Finance is being built the way it is, and what that means, of course, for you as a user. So, guys, we know that DeFi is no longer just about yield, right? It's now all about control, flexibility, and ownership of your financial future. So, let's dive right in. Thank you very much, Sophia, once again. Over to you.
And that's awesome. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Caitlin. And we can't wait like how the all the detail about the project will unpack today. So let's jump straight into our first question. So let's first talk about the marketplace of this incredible project. So could you let our listener know like what is Cyrus Finance Marketplace and what make it different from the other similar project right now in the Web3 space? Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that. So, first and foremost, on okay, I'll just flash this like this because later on I will be giving you guys some snaps about what this marketplace is looking like. And yes, let us give everybody an introduction of the marketplace. So this marketplace we're introducing is a fully P2P trading platform built directly into the Cyrus Finance V2 ecosystems. So technically what this marketplace can do, it allows users to buy and sell NFTs that represent real investment positions in the protocol with no intermediaries, no centralized control, and no third party platforms involved. So, what makes this truly different is that this marketplace is creating a living, active secondary market where the positions, right? They don't just sit idle, right? Technically, they move, they grow in value, it can be traded within the marketplace, and they find the right owners. So, technically, it's just direct value exchange between users. Of course, since it's P2P, it is on their own terms.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that to our audience. It's good to know about the science finance marketplace and how it is different from the other project. But still, guys, if you want to know more about it in more detail, do check it out the white paper or the website of it. You will get the comprehensive understanding out there. So please do so. And beside that, NFT is becoming again the hot topic nowadays. Earlier, it like fade up a bit. So, what exactly does an NFT represent in Cyrus Finance? Could you tell us the utility of it and its role within the ecosystem?
Yes, for sure. So here in Cyrus Finance, an NFT, the usual that we know it, right? Whenever we talk about NFT, we just think, oh, it's another picture or a collectible or it's just a simple image, right? But here in Cyrus Finance, an NFT is not just a digital collectible. It represents something bigger. It represents a participant's share in the protocol. So when a user holds an NFT, for example, it means that the position is already opened and it fully belongs to them. So, this reflects their position, their participation, their allocation within the system, and most importantly, it reflects their rights to the associated value and returns. So, this NFT is really a direct representation of ownership inside the protocol, and it can be freely transferred in the marketplace, which is exactly what the marketplace enables, right? Giving users liquidity and flexibility without breaking their position.
All right, yeah, that's good to know about the role of NFT within the Cyrus finance. Thank you so much for sharing that, Caitlin. And other than this, we are really curious to know, like, how does the P2P selling work? Could you like break down for us? And can I set my own price or not? Could you please clarify on that also?
Yeah, for sure. So it's actually the process is completely straightforward. In regards with the second part of the question, can you set your own price? Yes, you can. Just kindly refer, guys, to the to what I'm sharing on the screen because these are random snaps on what the marketplace looks like. Okay, so like I mentioned, the process is completely straightforward as to how the P2P transaction works. So if you, for example, if you want to do this to sell your position or simply transfer it to someone else, what you would do is you would list your NFT on the marketplace, right? And you would set whatever price you choose. So, technically, on the buyer side of things, they would browse, right? On the marketplace, they would browse for the available positions. They select the ones they want based on their preference, based on their own strategy. And they would simply complete the purchase directly inside the marketplace. Now, once the transaction is confirmed, the ownership of the NFT it would transfer fully and immediately to the buyer. No negotiations needed outside the platform, no middlemen needed, no delays. Immediate transfer of ownership. So, technically, your position, your price, your decision.
All right, I love that statement. So, guys, your decision, your price, and yeah, you can set your own price. And thank you so much to you, Caitlin, as well for that clarification and for showing our user the practical demo of it. So yeah, appreciate it. And beside that, could you also let us know what about user who participated in Cyrus Finance version 1?
Yeah, I just want to give clarity on this. This is actually a very good question. Let me just check if I can. Oh, I'll just flash this. So this is one of the most important aspects of Cyrus Finance V2, right? Especially for our early community. So if you participated in the V1, your NFT position still holds the real value as to what it is today. And this still represents your share in the protocol. So by holding a V1 NFT in your wallet, you would now then be eligible to receive a corresponding compensation position within the Cyrus Finance V2 structure. So what this do is it basically ensures that there is continuity and the V1 NFT holders, they can still preserve the value, right, of their previous participation. Now, at the same time, what I want to emphasize is this gives the users full flexibility. If you prefer to realize that value immediately, you can simply just list your NFT like this. You can list your NFT like this on the marketplace, and then this would allow you to transfer it to another participant. Now, just like what we've explained before, how the P2P trading works, the buyer would receive full ownership of that position and all associated rights once the transaction has been confirmed. So, once again, to be very clear and fair to the audience, to the V1 holders, no V1 position is lost. Every participation Every participant has clear, flexible options. They can either continue within the ecosystem or they can exit on their own terms. Just simply list the NFT, set your own price, complete the transaction. So this principle was fundamental, very fundamental. This design was well thought of the team, and once again, this principle was fundamental as to how the V2 was designed.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that detailed breakdown, Miss Caitlin. And guys, if you have more question on regard of that, I would recommend you to like please reach out to them. Their community manager or their team member will definitely going to answer you better if you have any doubts. So please reach out to them. And now I have another follow-up question in terms of the previous question that we have discussed so far, Caitlin. So could you also answer on that the marketplace solves the liquidity problem that many DeFi protocols struggle with, right?
Exactly, Sophia, you're very on point on that. And this is actually something we're genuinely proud of. Well, take a look around the DeFi space, right? One of the biggest frustrations in DeFi is the user being locked into a position with no real exit. Once you have the position, you're committed. The market moves, life changes, and you're stuck. Now, the solution we're offering, what Cyrus Finance is offering is Cyrus is basically solving this directly and permanently. This marketplace we're talking about gives every participant a clear, open, and flexible path, whether they want to exit, whether they want to transfer or acquire a position at market value. Guys, liquidity is no longer a privilege that is reserved for the early movers or the large players. We're offering it for everybody. In Cyrus Finance, this is a built in feature and this is available to everyone at any time, no matter how big of a trader you are.
Okay, that's so wonderful. Thank you so much for that detailed answer, Caitlin. So, guys, hope you guys got it. Liquidity is for early user. It's for reassuring you all that be the early supporter, and you will never get disappointed. Okay. And beside that, who is the marketplace well for, Caitlin?
Well, that's a very good question, but I think I kind of dropped a hint earlier. But guys, bear in mind this marketplace is designed to create a new internal economy around positions, right, within the protocol. So technically, it is surfing. Just to be, this is for everyone, guys. But just to be more specific, this marketplace is serving two key group of users at the same time. First, for those who want to exit. This marketplace provides a clear and flexible way to realize the value of their position at any moment without being limited by rigid time frames or conditions. Second group is for those who want to enter. This marketplace is really opening access to the protocol through a secondary market, right? Often, as we know on a secondary market, this is on more favorable terms and it would depend on the supply and demand as well, right? So technically, this allows users to acquire a share in the protocol in a way that better fits their strategy, their timing, and their expectations as well. So, as a result, the marketplace is connecting both sides, okay? It is forming a dynamic, user driven environment where value is continuously redistributed. It's not just a simple feature if you take a look at it, but we treat it as a foundation of a more efficient and flexible DeFi model where every participant has options and the market itself defines the best opportunities for us all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got it. Thank you so much for that answer. And other than that, talking about the marketplace in more detail, how does the marketplace affect the overall model of the protocol? Like, what's the effect of it later on?
Sure. So this marketplace is really transforming the protocol from being a fixed entry system into a much more dynamic and user driven environment. Actually, this marketplace really favors the users. It is built for them. So instead of simply entering the market under standard conditions, right? The strategies that we have in Cyrus Finance, on this marketplace, users can now choose positions that are already existing in the system. They can select based on price, timing, strategy, and even risk preference. So this creates a more efficient entry process, right? Where users can optimize how and when they want to participate. Alongside this is it also introduces a real market layer within the protocol where the value of the positions is determined by supply and demand. It is determined by fair value, not just internal mechanics that we have.
That's so amazing. I'm like 100%. It also introduces the real market layer within the protocol that really here to provide the ecosystem user the more earning opportunity. So yeah, thank you so much for that answer. But I got it partially, Caitlin. So, could you also let us know, like, does this mean that the user are no longer strictly logged into position? Could you please answer?
Exactly, Sophia, you're very on point. So even if a position is structured, for example, for 60 days, right? Guys, just to be clear, let me just flash you guys something just so you can imagine what strategies are really looking like. Okay, here are they, okay? Just to flash this for this question. For example, if a position is structured for 60 days, for example, the concept the concept of being locked for 60 days, it changes completely, right? If you are on 60 days, you are not forced to wait until the end of term. You don't need to wait for 60 days. Instead, if you want, whenever your mind changes, whenever your strategy changes, you can now exit at any moment by selling your position on the marketplace. So, this would create continuous liquidity and it would remove the traditional limitations that are associated with fixed durations just like this, right? So, more importantly, the yield structure still remains the same. It's still intact, but the access to capital becomes flexible.
All right, yeah, got it, Caitlin. Thank you so much for that answer. And I have another question for you. Like, how does this impact user confidence when entering the protocol?
Well, it has a major positive impact, I must say. Okay. Well, guys, if you don't know, one of the biggest psychological barriers in DeFi is the fear of losing control over your funds. Once they're committed to something like this, something that is locked based on time, based on conditions. That is one of the biggest fears, right? Of any user in the DeFi space. So, by allowing users to exit at any time, Cyrus Finance is removing this concern entirely. Users would now then feel safer allocating their capital because they know that they're not trapped, right? They're not locked by the number of those days, right? And this, of course, as a result, will increase the confidence. And the increased confidence would then naturally lead to a stronger participation rate and long term engagement within the ecosystem. It's like having a positive domino effect.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And other than this, why does this makes long-term strategy more attractive?
Well, because users no longer have to choose between higher returns and flexibility. They don't have to be torn between that anymore, right? In traditional systems, guys, the longer we know that generally, if you prefer longer plan duration, it would offer better rewards, right? But it comes with strict lockups, right? Here, guys, users can enter longer term strategies with improved conditions while still retaining the ability to exit early if needed. So, having this balance would significantly reduce the perceived risk and it would encourage users to consider more efficient long term strategies.
Mm-hmm. Got the reason. I'm like, guys, that's great. I'm like, you don't have to choose between higher return and flexibility, and that will I'm like, here you guys can consider more effective long-term strategy. So yeah, thank you so much for that concise answer, Katie. Besides that, how is this different from traditional logged based DeFi system? What make it unique?
Yeah, so in most DeFi protocols, locking funds means giving up access to them for a defined period. For example, just take a look on your screen. And if you choose one, you have no flexibility or exit option. But here in Cyrus Finance, guys, the position itself becomes a transferable asset. So this means that while the internal structure of the position may be long term, ownership is still fluid. Users are not locked. They simply hold an asset that they can sell at any point in time. Once again, this has been made possible by our marketplace. So this represents really a fundamental shift from the static locking to dynamic ownership.
That's truly a fundamental shift. Thank you so much for the answer, Caitlin. And but how does this mean for like overall capital efficiency?
Well, just to answer that quickly, it significantly improves how capital is used within the system, right? That's really the simple answer for that. So, if you come think of it, instead of the funds being idle or restricted, they become active and manageable. And you would want that as a user. Your capital is not tied up. You as a user, you can reallocate your capital, you can adjust your strategies, you can exit positions depending on market conditions or maybe personal decisions. And we believe this would lead to a more efficient capital flow across the ecosystem, and it would also reduce friction that are typically associated with long-term commitments.
You're absolutely right. The market condition also vary. So yeah, thanks for that answer. But we got it clearly. What do you think, Caitlin? What's your opinion? Like, who benefit the most from it?
Well, the strength of this model actually is that it benefits all types of users. The new participants, they can gain confidence because they're not locked in, right? The long-term users, they can gain flexibility without sacrificing their strategy. The advanced users, they can get additional tools, right? To actively manage positions and optimize their entry and exit points depending on their strategy. So this really creates a balanced environment. This is for everybody, all types of users, whatever you are. The marketplace generally is creating a balanced environment where both passive and active strategies can coexist efficiently.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, guys, you all will be the part of it. You all will get the benefits such as BN, join all the social links of Cyrus Finance, and yeah, stay engaged with other community member as well. Okay. Beside that, talking about the advantage, like what is the key advantage users should understand about this system?
Well, the key advantage actually is the full having the full control over your position at all time. Users are not bound by rigid conditions or forced timelines, right? They can decide when to enter, how long to stay, and when to exit. And they can base it on their own strategy or depending on the market conditions, right? So having this combination of flexibility, control, and the structured deal is what makes the system fundamentally stronger and, well, more attractive for sustainable participation.
Mm-hmm. Got it, got it. Thank you so much for that detail. And security is very important in any Web3 space project. So, how does like Cyrus Finance ensure the safety of user fund?
This is a good one. Thank you, Sophia, for that. Well, security is really built into every layer of our protocol. Just to take a step back, guys, Cyrus Finance is operating fully on chain, meaning that all transactions are transparent and verifiable. And in addition with that, the protocol is also leveraging audited smart contracts and the continuous monitoring systems in order to minimize the risks. So, There are no hidden mechanisms, guys, okay? Everything is governed by code, and this is verifiable. It is visible to all of you guys as users at all times.
Okay, that's awesome. So there is no hidden mechanism, guys. Everything is code governed. That's really reassuring and it's visible all the time. I mean, like you can verify at 24/7. So that's really reassuring to hear. Thank you so much for highlighting those security point, Caitlin. And what makes Cyrus Finance more reliable compared to the other DeFi project? Like how accessible it is?
That's a good one. Well, unlike many short term projects that are focused on hype, Cyrus Finance is really building around sustainable mechanics. It does not rely on artificial rewards or the unsustainable emissions, right? Instead, all returns, guys, here at Cyrus Finance are generated from real market activity, which creates a more stable and a predictable system over time.
Mm-hmm. Got it. That's really reliable as comparison to the other DeFi project. That's incredible. So give me some solid reason, Caitlin. Why should user choose Cyrus Finance only in this competitive DeFi market?
That's a good one, and I have here presented, guys, the key advantages of Cyrus. Well, Cyrus, as you can see on your screen, Cyrus Finance is really offering a combination of transparency, flexibility, real yield, all things, guys, all good things at once. So the users are not locked, right, into rigid structures. That is one great advantage. That is an edge already. We're giving users the control over their capital and they can adapt their strategy as needed. So, having this level of control combined with the sustainable yield generation, it really makes it a strong alternative to the traditional DeFi models.
Mhm. Got it. And I'm like, got the clarity, but could you also let our user know how does the protocol handle market volatility?
Yeah, for sure. So, um, okay. So, market volatility, that's a very big word because volatility here in Cyrus Finance is we're not treating it as a risk, but it is technically part of this strategy that we have. So, the protocol, it is designed to work within market cycles. It is accumulating assets during downturns, and then what it does is it's rebalancing during the growing phases. That is how it is handled. Of course, during times of volatility. So we believe this really allows users to benefit from both trading activity and also the price movement over time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got it. And you know, Caitlin, everyone loves sustainability. So our user want to know what are the long-term goals of Cyrus Finance.
Yeah, for sure. So that's a good one. Relating it to sustainability. Well, the long term vision actually is to build a fully self sustaining DeFi ecosystem where the users have complete control over their financial activity. So what we have for long term is that that would include expanding of our strategies, improving the capital efficiency, which we're doing right now, and moving towards deeper decentralization where the community would play a larger role in shaping the protocol.
Definitely, the community will be the backbone later on. That the community will shape the future of the project, right? So, talking about the long-term holders for long-term participation. So, is Cyrus Finance suitable for them or not?
A short answer for that, Sophia, is yes, definitely. So, this protocol is specifically designed for long term sustainability. That is the end goal, right? So, as I've explained earlier, and I think you can definitely notice that, right, with all the answers that I've given, the mechanics of this all is all focused on consistent performance rather than the short term spikes. And to be honest, as a long term holder, right, that would make it attractive. It makes it really suitable for users who are really looking to build and manage capital over time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got it. And how does Cyrus Finance approach transparency here? Like we have just talked about the sustainability a bit, but talking about the transparency, what's the take? What's the approach of it?
That's a good one, Sophia. Transparency is a core principle here. And it is actually walking alongside safety as well whenever we talk about transparency. So, highlighting on the transparency part, guys, every action from deposits to rewards, all of it can be tracked on chain. Users, guys, you don't need to rely on trust or promises. You can independently verify how the system operates in real time. So, yes, that is how we approach transparency.
Okay, got it. And other than this, let me ask you another quick question. Like, what gives Cyrus Finance a competitive edge moving forward every day?
Well, competitive edge. Well, Cyrus Finance is really focusing on real yield. We're focusing on efficient capital deployment and user controls the positions. Basically, it's strongly for the future, right? So, as the DeFi space matures, projects that can offer sustainability and transparency will stand out. And Cyrus Finance is built exactly around those principles.
Okay, got it. And what's the key philosophy behind Cyrus Finance?
A key philosophy. That's a okay. Well, the core idea of our key philosophy is very simple, and that is users should have full control over their capital in a transparent and efficient system. Guys, what I'm showing you right now, Cyrus Finance is not built on promises, right? It's built on mechanisms that allows users to see, to understand, and to benefit from how the protocol works. So technically, it is all user driven, guys. And that is the key philosophy. I mean, everything is rooted way back to the users.
That's really amazing. I love that philosophy. And how does Cyrus Finance generate real yield?
Okay, so I think I've mentioned this before, but Cyrus Finance is built around the real market activity rather than the artificial emissions. So how yield is created in Cyrus Finance is that it is generated through active capital deployment, through the trading strategies, and overall the ecosystem activity. So this means that returns are not dependent on constant inflow of new users, but it is actually tied on actual performance, making this model more sustainable over time.
Mm-hmm. That's really good to know. And what role does user behavior play in the ecosystem? How do you contribute on that?
Well, being a user driven protocol, the user behavior directly impacts the efficiency of the system, right? The active participation, whether it's entering, exiting, or reallocating positions, all of this creates movement, right? Within the protocol, it makes the protocol move. So this continuous activity would strengthen liquidity. It would improve the pricing dynamics and it would contribute to the overall ecosystem growth.
Mm-hmm, that's really awesome. So I think we have discussed about the risk management as well. We have discussed about the user behavior. But what about the decentralization? Like, why is decentralization is important for Cyrus Finance?
Well, that is a very good one. And I think I've highlighted enough about how user driven, right? Cyrus Finance is actually designed for. So, decentralization, as we know, it ensures that the users would remain in control of their assets at all times. That is the main keyword for it, right? Users would remain in control at all times. So, there are no centralized decision makers that are controlling liquidity or restricting access. Everything is governed by smart contracts, which then create trust through transparency rather than the false promises.
Okay, that's really amazing. And what is the biggest misconception about the DeFi that Cyrus Finance solves?
Biggest misconception. Okay, actually, if you come think of it, right, one of the biggest misconceptions is that higher returns must come with rigid lockups and loss of control. On the traditional staking programs, that is how it is, right? You would expect if you lock your funds for longer term, you would get higher returns. But Cyrus Finance is showing that users can actually enjoy both the structured yield and the flexibility without sacrificing liquidity at all. That is the biggest misconception.
Okay, so I am really curious to know about that question, Katie. Like, what happened as more liquidity enters the protocol?
Okay, that's a good one, a technical one, but the increased liquidity, right? It would improve the overall system performance. So it enhances several factors. It enhances trading efficiency, it stabilizes pricing, and it also creates more opportunities for users. So a larger ecosystem would naturally become more resilient and productive. That is what happens. The more liquidity enters and circulates around the protocol.
Okay, uh, interesting one. And now, what is the long term? By the way, that's going to be the last question from this Q&A part. So what is the last? I would say, what is the long term vision beyond current feature?
Well, I think I've mentioned this before, but the vision really is to build a flexible DeFi ecosystem where users have full control, complete control over the capital, their strategies, and their liquidity. The marketplace actually is just one step of it. Future developments will continue to expand the capabilities. It would improve efficiency and it would further strengthen decentralization. So keep an eye out, guys, because the bigger picture is awaiting. The marketplace is just one piece, but there are certainly more to come.
Okay, there's more way to go, and we're really looking forward for the upcoming detail, guys. Do follow all the social links of the project. You will get further detail or further update regarding the project over there. That's it. I think we have covered most of the detail of the project, almost everything. But still, anything you would like to say to our audience? Any detail that we have, we didn't cover, or I'm like, yeah, yeah.
Well, I can say that the marketplace, right, what we focused for tonight, is an important step in the evolution of Cyrus Finance. And this is a key part of our roadmap that we've been building towards. So we're continuously improving the protocol. We are refining mechanics, continuously expanding this ecosystem for users to interact with liquidity in a more flexible and more efficient way. So, guys, I'm gonna mention it. The team is fully committed and really pouring their best, their efforts to push forward every single day. So, guys, this is just the beginning of a larger DeFi vision, and that is to create a system where capital is not only productive, but it is also fully liquid and user controlled. So, yeah, more features, more innovation, and more opportunities are coming. Stay with us, guys. The next stages will unlock even greater potential.
No doubt on that looking forward. And guys, stay tuned for more updates regarding the project. Do follow all the social links, and this particular session is already recorded. So if you miss any part, you can replay it for more detail. And that's it. I think we have covered all the detail about the project so far. It's time to wrapping up. First of all, thank you so much to you, Caitlin, for representing this project in incredible way. Really impressive. Thank you so much for your valuable time, and also thank you so much to all our viewers, to all our participants. Appreciate it. And to follow all the social links, and if you have any question, do reach out to them. Their community manager or their lead member will definitely going to answer you. That said, it's time to wrapping up. So yeah, anything you would like to say to our audience as a closing statement, Caitlin?
I think I've said it all, but thank you very much to everybody, guys. Please stay tuned. There are lots of things certainly to come, and I expect to see you guys again in another session here with Cyrus Finance. So thank you very much. Thank you, Sophia, and have a very great week ahead. Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye. Have a great day, guys, and stay tuned for further more session along with us. Have a great day. Bye bye. Thank you so much.